Record. Pre-hit record. All right. Happy Monday. So excited to be here. I'm super inspired. I actually just hopped off of an opportunity call that I got to share on. I never get tired of sharing. And I also got to hear from two people who I've never heard their story before. And it is just always so exciting, inspirational to hear all the stories because I love hearing from different backgrounds, different personalities, different reasons why they came. Because for me, even 8 years in, that just continues to build my belief that this is possible for anybody. And that's what I want you to know. And so I have been so excited for tonight. If you are on my team or Bree's team, or even we've got a couple teams that joined us tonight, at least on my team, I think if I had $1 for every time I like reference Brittney or her podcast, like I'd have a really solid extra stream of income going in my chat, to my team, all the things. And so I absolutely love Brittney. She is a dear friend of mine too, and someone that I have gotten to know so well. Someone who is very like-minded to me, just in the way that she has a business that also honors Jesus and puts Jesus first. And just she has integrity through and through. And I love her story because she is an average, everyday person, just like you and me, who decided, you know what, I see what's possible with this. I can figure this out too. And so what I really want, and what I told Brittney, I want you to leave here just infused with belief. And I want you to look and find yourself in her story. No, you're not going to be the exact same person. You're not going to have the exact same reasons, but there's going to be something that you can relate to here. And what I want you to take away from this is I can do this too. So super excited. I don't want to waste any of her time. So Brittney, take it away.
Well, thank you for that super sweet introduction, Bethany. It's definitely an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I had no idea you were having all these other diamonds on here too. So I feel a little nervous actually, but I'm definitely excited to share with you guys my story. And I should have already asked you this, Bethany, but how long am I supposed to talk?
About 25 minutes until like 9.
Okay, cool. All right, perfect. Because my call is at 9. So with my team. So, all right, well, I'm Brittney Howard, and I'm a diamond, and I have 6 kids. And I'm pretty sure I've struggled with everything you can struggle with in this business, and have been able to overcome and have a story to tell about all of my struggles. And so I probably could write a book of what not to do. And I would say my biggest struggle, probably the whole entire time, has been mindset, which is likely why I'm so passionate about it now, because I know that that's the foundation, and your mindset is going to determine your performance and the results that you get. And mindset is actually something that we choose. And so that can be kind of scary to be confronted with the truth about your stinking thinking. However, to me, it also felt very empowering to know that I had a choice and that I was not a victim of my circumstances, or that, I didn't. Well, let me just start at the beginning. I did not grow up having lots of money. As a matter of fact, I would say we really struggled with money. And I remember even as a child, my dad was a pastor. And so we just didn't have much money. And I remember even as a child, like if we would drive through like a really nice neighborhood, I would always, or like looking at kids at school who seemed to be dressed nice and always had the nicest everything. And I just would wonder, like, what do those people do differently? And I wonder how they got that way. I just have always been very curious about how to make lots of money. But I think maybe because I grew up in Christian circles, and like that's always been kind of my sphere of influence. I probably felt guilty about that a lot. Like I have always had a desire to make a lot of money, had no idea how to do it, definitely wanted to know how to do it, for sure did not believe I could do it. And that has been a process. So whenever I first started my Plexus business, I was homeschooling my kids. At the time, I had 5 kids. And I remember being at the library one day looking for some homeschool resources. And I saw a book called The Millionaire Mind. And it was basically about like somebody had studied through like tons of surveys and stuff like that. They had studied people with a net worth of $1 million or more and wrote a book about their findings. And I could not put that book down. It was so fascinating to me because I was just like, these are normal people. They're not like what I envisioned millionaires being like. And I guess I thought millionaires would be people who were extremely educated, or like, I don't know, maybe like physicians or highly paid attorneys or something like that. But turns out most of the world's wealthiest people are actually business owners. So I definitely was thinking, like, how could I become a business owner? And could I be successful? I had no idea, like, I'm not crafty, so making things and selling it, not going to work for me. Also, I realized very quickly that wasn't scalable. And I remember reading some Robert Kiyosaki books. Also, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, eye-opening. Then I read Cash Flow Quadrant. That book was very mind-blowing to me too, because he talked about how there's actually a difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. So if you're self-employed, you're basically still an employee. You're trading your hours for dollars. It's just that you get to pick your hours and you don't have a boss. But still, if you don't work, you don't get paid. And I just thought, well, I'm not really interested in that. I'm way more interested in residual income that has no cap on it, that is scalable, meaning I could earn as much as I wanted to earn. I still, at that point, just didn't know if it was possible for me to do that. I knew average, ordinary people became millionaires, and I knew most of them did it through owning a business, but I had no idea like what kind of business I could start that would be scalable or had no income cap or anything like that. So then I heard Robert Kiyosaki say on a podcast one time, he's like, if you want to build wealth, you need to become a business owner. The difference between a business owner and a self-employed person is that a business owner, if you want to increase your income, you improve your systems. Business owners own systems. Self-employed people, they trade hours for dollars. Well, the thing about trading hours for dollars is that there's only so many hours in a day you get to trade. And so a business owner, you can increase your income by just improving your systems. And so that was what I was really drawn to, but still had no idea how to do that. So he said, if you want to be a business owner and you don't know where to start, you should start with network marketing. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. I already know which one I'm picking, because at that point I was using the products and they were helping me with digestive issues, helping my husband with his allergies and stuff. So I decided I was going to do it. I was going to try to build the business. Had no idea what I was doing. It took me like 7 months to get about halfway to gold, which is what we now call senior silver. But 7 months of working really hard, which is what I felt like I was doing. And I just didn't feel like I was making much progress. And eventually I just flat out quit. I told my sponsor, Fallon, like, I don't foresee this working out. Like, I don't think I can do this. I don't see how I could be successful at this. I mean, and we were coachable. We were doing everything our upline was telling us to do. One time our upline said, because our upline was in California, she said, y'all should print flyers and walk around your neighborhood and knock on doors and just hand out flyers and just have an event at Panera Bread. Y'all could go do like a sip and see, go walk around your neighborhood, invite everybody in your neighborhood. We did that in the rain. Like, we were hungry and coachable. And so we did that. And me and Fallon show up at our sip and see, can't wait to present all of our expertise on our products and opportunity. Nobody came. We repeated that process 2 more times, showed up to empty room, but we were willing, like, we were hungry for change. We were willing to do whatever it took. We just had no idea what it took or what to do. Anyway, eventually I just lost belief that I could do it. And so I I didn't really share about Plexus anymore. I didn't like actively try to build it, but I was still using the products. And also I had some customers who were still loving their products. And so I had residual income coming in every month. And so for about, I don't know, maybe almost a year, I think I didn't really talk about Plexus to anybody. And eventually though, I did jump back in. I did. My husband encouraged me to jump back in. Definitely Fallon encouraged me to jump back in. She believed in me from the beginning. She believed in the beginning that she was going to the top, and she was convinced I could go too. And I think, and that got me so far. Like I kind of was working off of borrowed belief in the beginning. Like she was so confident, it kind of made me think that I could do it too, until I hit adversity and didn't know how to respond and didn't have the tools in my tool belt to fight the mindset war that was raging inside of my head. So I just fell into the negativity, believed all my negative thoughts, and I just thought I couldn't do it. Well, I started seeing people who joined the same time I did start climbing through the ranks. And that inspired me. Like it definitely made me pay attention, because I thought, well, they're not really much different from me. Like if they could do it, maybe I could do it. So I would like listen to a team call here and there. And the more I would listen in, the more I would hear people who kind of had my struggles, who overcame them and went on to become very successful. And one of the team calls suggested a book called Switch on Your Brain. When I read that book, which basically takes scripture and marries it with science and shows how science is now catching up with what the Bible has said for thousands of years about what you think and believe, and how that determines the results in every area of your life. What you think and believe about everything determines your actions, which determines your results, and how that's a choice and you can change it. That book was a game changer for me. At that point, I was just like, okay, the only thing holding me back is me. That is the only thing. There's no other variable here that I can blame for my lack of success than myself, because other people are being successful at this. So if I'm not, then I have to look within, right? So when I jumped back in and I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, from that point to 6-figure income was 12 months, exactly 12 months. And the only thing that changed from before, when I had worked really hard for 7 months, made very little progress, I felt like, versus this time where I went from silver to 6-figure emerald in 12 months. The only thing that changed was my mind. I still had the same upline. I still had the same products. I still had the same comp plan. Literally everything else was the same except for what I was thinking and believing. And so I understand what it feels like to be scared to death of what everyone thinks of you. Since my dad is a pastor, that's definitely been a fear that's been top of mind for me the whole time. I even still battle with it now as a diamond. It's just that now I know what to do with the thoughts, because I have learned some tools in my tool belt to help me choose my thoughts and battle those negative thoughts. Okay. I know what it feels like to feel stuck. And I know what it feels like to wonder, am I even doing this right? Is this actually going to work? All of this investment I'm making in this, is it going to pan out? Like, is this actually going to pay off, or am I just chasing a pipe dream? And so once I hit emerald, I stayed emerald for 2 years. And then eventually I did hit sapphire, and I was sapphire for another 2 years. So all in all, from the time I joined to the time I went diamond, I think it was a total of about 7 years. And once I did hit diamond, I thought, every single day leading up to diamond, I felt like this is really hard and I don't actually know if it's going to work. But then once I hit diamond, and got my first paycheck as a diamond, I looked at it and thought, that should have felt harder than it did. For that amount of money, that should have felt way harder than it actually did. So I just want you guys to know, it's all figure outable. Like, that is, you need to go all in. Because here's the thing about network marketing. The only way for you to not get to the top is to quit. The only way for you to fail is to quit. And so if you commit to putting the work in, learning the skills, and being consistent, the statistics almost are, and it's like almost inevitable that you're going to climb through the ranks. The statistics show that people who are consistent with income producing activity in their network marketing businesses get to the top of their company. This is industry wide. This is not Plexus specific. This is network marketing industry wide. A matter of 95% of people who are consistent with their income producing activity every single day will get to the top of the pay plan within 10 years or less. In Plexus, I believe that rate is actually much faster. And a huge problem with why I wasn't diamond sooner than I was is because I lacked consistency in so many areas, because I let my mindset hold me back. But thank the Lord, I would overcome that. Like, I would read something, or I would listen to something, or I'd have an encouraging conversation at some point along the way. I never quit. And I can 100% tell you that it's worth it. Every sacrifice that I made in order to build this, every time I had to get uncomfortable and put myself out there and feel vulnerable and wonder what everybody was going to think of me and doubt if it was even going to work, worth it. And I think because of how much I did struggle throughout my journey, it has helped me become a stronger leader now. If this had all felt easy to me, I think the Lord knows my heart, and I think he knows that I probably would have been prideful and puffed up. And who the heck wants to follow a prideful leader? I think God tailor makes our trials specifically to get to our heart, because he knows what it's going to take to draw us to him. And so my struggles did cause me to lean into my relationship with the Lord and not be so dependent on myself and be so puffed up. So I'm grateful for that. I also developed grit and resilience. I never expected this to be easy. And I learned leadership skills. I learned people skills. And I think most importantly, I have developed confidence, because that was what I felt like I lacked. So before I started my Plexus business, years before I started, I actually was married previously to my ex-husband. He was unfaithful to me over and over and over and over. And so I was no stranger, once I started this business, to the feeling of rejection. And so that could have been another reason why I was so sensitive to that, and why I avoided getting uncomfortable and putting myself out there or reaching out to people or whatever. I understood what it felt like to be rejected. And also I lacked confidence. And now that I am successful and I am a diamond, and I realized that I was right, that this was a great opportunity, and I could learn the skills and I could get good at it with practice. Now I feel very confident that not only can I be successful at whatever I want to be successful at, but that I can help others. And if all of this had come easy to me from the beginning, I think I wouldn't have that confidence. I wouldn't have that grit or resilience or leadership skills, which, by the way, all of that has just come through facing challenges and figuring out ways to overcome them by necessity. So I want to encourage you guys to go all in. It is worth it. Stay focused. Don't allow distractions. And last things I want to share with you. Number one indicator of success, if you're wondering on this call tonight, Will I actually be a diamond? Here's the number one indicator of whether or not you will. Do you believe that you can be? Number one success indicator is belief that it can be done. Number two success indicator is focusing on the activities that will move the needle forward. People who believe that they can go to the top, they are focused and they are intentional, and they're not allowing distractions, because those distractions cost them too much. So you have to decide if you're going to be a diamond, because that really is up to you. It is not a matter of if you are able. It is always a matter of if you are willing to do what it takes. So you decide right now, if you haven't already, I'm going to the top and I'm going to figure it out no matter what comes up. If other people can be successful at this, if other people can market these products well and get customers and create business builders and build an organization in this company with this comp plan, with these leaders, with all of these resources, if other people can do it, I can too. I just have to figure out what the successful people are doing and do that. It's all figure outable. All right. That's it, Bethany. Was that 25 minutes? I think it was.
You did great. Yep, right at 25 minutes. And we would listen to you all night long. Thank you so much. You guys, I want you guys to drop in the comments. Number one, how many of your belief went up after this call? Because mine did. I've been here for 7.5 years now, and that's still skyrocketed my belief. And I love, love, love what Brittney said, because I feel like I am on the opposite side of that, where I had quick success and then had to learn my lessons afterwards, right? And kind of in that space now, but 1,000% true. And any of you know who do coaching calls with me, like literally 99% of the time, our coaching calls are spent talking about your mindset. It's never your skill set. Like, I genuinely believe anybody can come in here and they can put to work the skills that it takes to be successful at this, but your mindset will always be what gets in your way. And I'm daily having to coach myself out of certain mindset things. All right. I want you guys to drop takeaways either here or in the chat, because I am so, so grateful when somebody, I know I say this every time we have a guest on the call, but we're not obligated to go share on other teams. Brittney doesn't get anything from this, but she's just willing to come and share her heart. And I just want her to know how appreciative we are of her taking the time and spending that, because it was so, so valuable to me. And I know it was to so many of you guys. So thank you again, Brittney. I appreciate it so much. Thank y'all for spending time with us on your Monday night. I hope this grew your belief, grew your confidence, and grew your determination that you are here, that you're going all in, and you're going to do this. So y'all have a great Monday night, and we'll see you later. Bye, y'all.